The official statement usually drops at 5 p.m. on a Friday to bury the news cycle. It almost always uses the same three phrases: mutual decision, moving on to new opportunities, focusing on mental health. But if you look at the timestamp on the production logs versus the timestamp on that press release, you realize the decision was made 6 months prior, likely in a boardroom in Burbank, and the cast member didn't even know they were fired until they saw it on Twitter. The reality of reality television exits is a meticulously engineered legal and financial dismantling of a human being designed to save the network millions in severance pay while maximizing the ratings of their departure. We are going to look at the documents, the standard operating procedure for termination, and the financial ruin that often accompanies that final scene. Most viewers assume that when a villain leaves a show like Selling Sunset or Vanderpump Rules or The Real Housewives, it is because the drama became too much or the cast refused to film with them. That is the narrative the network wants you to believe, because it keeps the fourth wall intact. The truth is usually found in a document called the Talent Attachment Agreement. This is the standard contract that locks a reality star in for up to 7 years, granting the network the exclusive right to renew or drop them at their discretion. When you see a scandalous exit, you are rarely watching a spontaneous event. You are watching a breach of contract dispute playing out in real time. Let us look at the financial architecture of an exit. In the industry, there's a mechanism known as the pickup window. This is the specific date range in which a network must notify a cast member if they are being brought back for the next season. If that date passes without a letter of intent, the cast member is effectively unemployed. However, producers often manipulate this window to force a lower salary. They will let the deadline pass, inducing panic in the talent, only to offer a new contract a week later at a 20% pay cut, framing it as a take-it-or-leave-it offer. When a star walks away in a huff, claiming self-respect, they are often just rejecting a lowball offer designed to make them quit, so the production company does not have to pay the guaranteed raises stipulated in their original deal. Consider the case of the villain edit used as a termination tool. This is one of the darkest strategies in unscripted television. If a network wants to fire a high-paid veteran but cannot find a legal cause to void their payout, they can engineer a hostile work environment that forces the talent to break their own contract. This is often done through schedule manipulation. Production will change call times at the last minute, forcing the talent to miss shoots. Missing a shoot is a material breach of contract. Once the talent misses enough hours, the network has grounds to terminate for cause. Terminating for cause means zero severance. When you see a cast member having a meltdown about the schedule or refusing to come out of their dressing room, you are watching them realize they are being set up to be fired without pay. The most lucrative aspect of these exits for the network is the silence that follows. The non-disclosure agreement, or NDA, is standard, but the specific clauses regarding disparagement have evolved significantly over the last decade. Modern reality contracts often include a liquidated damages clause. This means if a fired cast member goes on a podcast and explains the real reason they left, they are automatically liable for a set amount of money, often upwards of $50,000 per violation, without the network even having to prove damages in court. This turns every interview into a financial minefield. This is why you see so many vague answers and forced smiles in post-exit interviews. They are not taking the high road. They are trying to avoid a six-figure lawsuit. We need to talk about the morality clause. This is the catch-all provision in almost every entertainment contract that allows a network to fire talent for behavior that brings the network into disrepute or public scandal. Historically, this was used for serious crimes. In the modern era of social media, however, the definition of disrepute has become incredibly elastic. Networks now use the morality clause to offload expensive talent by weaponizing their past social media activity. It's a convenient way to clean house. If a cast member has become too expensive or too difficult to manage, the network's legal team will often conduct a deep dive into their digital footprint, looking for a reason to invoke the morality clause. Once they find it, they can terminate the contract immediately. The public sees a network taking a moral stand. Insiders see a budget correction. Another major factor in these scandalous exits is the concept of uninsurability. Every television production requires insurance to cover liabilities. If a cast member is deemed a liability risk, whether due to substance abuse issues, physical altercations on set, or erratic behavior, the insurance premiums to cover them skyrocket. Sometimes the insurance company simply refuses to cover them at all. If a cast member cannot be insured, they cannot be filmed. It's that simple. This is often the real reason behind sudden departures, where a cast member is sent to a facility or simply vanishes from the filming schedule. It's not always a creative choice or a personal decision. It's an act of compliance with an insurance policy. The producers literally cannot turn the cameras on without voiding their coverage for the entire production. Let's examine the timeline of a typical scandal-fueled exit. It usually starts about 4 weeks before the finale airs. This is when the leaks begin. You'll notice blind items appearing on gossip blogs, hinting at bad behavior or diva demands from a specific cast member. These leaks often come directly from production sources or publicists associated with the network. The goal is to prime the audience for the exit. By the time the finale airs, the audience is already turning on the cast member. This makes the firing palatable. It validates the network's decision. If they fired a fan favorite without this groundwork, they would face a backlash. By planting negative stories weeks in advance, they manufacture consent for the termination. The reunion show is the final courtroom. When a cast member refuses to attend a reunion, it is treated as the ultimate sin. But financially, it's often a calculated risk. Appearance fees for reunions are high, but the risk of legal exposure is higher. If a cast member knows they are going to be ambushed with allegations that could damage their real-world business reputation or lead to lawsuits from other cast members, skipping the reunion is a loss mitigation strategy. They forfeit their appearance fee, which might be $50,000, to protect their brand, which might be worth millions. The network spins it as cowardice. In reality, it's asset protection. There's also the phantom firing. This happens when a cast member is technically still under contract, but is simply not given any filming dates. This is known as being put in first position hold without usage. The network pays a small holding fee to keep the talent from going to a competitor, but they don't film them. The cast member is in a state of limbo, unable to work elsewhere, but not earning their full salary. This is designed to starve the talent out. Eventually, the cast member will beg to be released from the contract just to be able to work again. The network grants the release, appearing benevolent, while having successfully sidelined a difficult negotiator without ever officially firing them. We must also look at the role of the edit in post-exit narratives. Once a cast member leaves on bad terms, the editors have free rein to reshape their legacy. This is often called the Frankenbite. Editors will splice together audio from different conversations, sometimes from different years, to make the departing cast member say things they never actually said in that context. They can make a reasonable exit speech sound unhinged. They can take a moment of silence and insert the sound of crickets or awkward coughing to make the person look isolated. This archival assassination ensures that the audience doesn't miss the person. It burns the bridge so thoroughly that the cast member can never return, securing the new cast's position. The psychological toll is the unquantifiable variable. Reality TV production relies on isolation and sleep deprivation to generate drama. When a cast member reaches their breaking point and quits, it's often treated as a breach of contract. However, labor laws regarding psychological safety on set are becoming stricter. We are seeing a shift where cast members are starting to document their interactions with producers, keeping logs of how many hours they are kept on set without food or water breaks. This documentation is the only leverage they have. When you hear about a quiet exit, where the network wishes someone the best and there's no drama, it usually means the talent had receipts proving a hostile work environment, and the network settled to make them go away quietly. The financials of a scandalous exit are devastating. It's not just the loss of the per-episode fee, it's the loss of the platform that drives all other revenue streams. Most reality stars make the bulk of their money from sponsored posts, appearance fees at clubs, and their own product lines. All of these businesses rely on the relevance that comes from being on air. When a cast member is fired or quits in a scandal, their engagement metrics drop immediately. Brands pull out of deals to avoid the controversy. The ecosystem of income collapses. A star might lose a $500,000 TV salary, but they also lose $1 million in ancillary income. The network knows this. They use the threat of irrelevance to keep cast members compliant. Let's dig deeper into the legal precedent of the morality clause. In recent years, networks have expanded these clauses to include off-camera behavior occurring years prior to filming. This retroactive application allows them to terminate contracts based on vetting that should have been done before the person was hired. When a scandal breaks about a cast member's past, the network acts shocked. But the reality is, casting departments do extensive background checks. They likely knew about the issue but kept it in their back pocket as leverage. They hold on to the information until the cast member becomes expendable or until they need a rating spike. Then they leak the information themselves and fire the person for it. It's a cynical cycle of exploitation. The role of cast-on-cast policing is another mechanism for forced exits. Producers will often incentivize other cast members to push a target out. They might hint that if a certain person leaves, there will be more budget available for everyone else's raises. This creates a survivor alliance, where the cast actively works to make the target so uncomfortable that they quit. This creates organic drama for the cameras while achieving the production's goal of removing the expensive or difficult talent. The cast members think they are taking control of their show. In reality, they are doing the producer's dirty work for free. Then there's the issue of intellectual property. Many reality stars try to launch businesses using catchphrases or concepts from the show, but the standard contract usually assigns all intellectual property rights created during filming to the production company. If a cast member screams a memorable line and tries to put it on a t-shirt after they are fired, they will receive a cease and desist letter. They do not own their best moments. The network does. Leaving the show often means leaving behind the rights to one's own television persona. They have to reinvent themselves entirely, which is incredibly difficult after being typecast as a villain for 5 years. We rarely talk about the cost of legal defense. When a scandal erupts, the cast member often has to hire a crisis PR firm and a high-powered entertainment attorney. These retainers start at $25,000. If the exit involves a lawsuit or a breach of contract dispute, the legal fees can easily exceed the salary the person earned on the show. Many reality stars end up breaking even or going into debt trying to defend their reputation after a scandalous exit. The network has an in-house legal team on salary. The talent is paying hourly. It is a war of attrition that the talent almost never wins. The illusion of the open door is the final trap. Producers will often tell a departing cast member that the door is always open for a return. This keeps the talent on the hook, hoping for a redemption arc. They stay quiet, they play nice, and they don't spill the secrets, all in the hopes of being asked back. But the statistics show that once a cast member is removed in a high-profile scandal, the odds of a return are less than 5%. The network moves on. The audience moves on. The promise of a return is just a management tactic to ensure a peaceful transition. Ultimately, reality TV exits are not about reality. They are about risk management and budget optimization. The tears are real. The anger is real. But the timing and the mechanism of the exit are corporate decisions. The cast member is a depreciating asset. Once their cost exceeds the value of the drama they produce, they are liquidated. The scandal is just the cover story. The real story is always in the ledger.